Hey YouTube, just about got the motor out. I'm about to pull it out of here, and I started getting interested. When I put this motor in, it was the story is that it was in a Mustang. It's an '89 Mustang 5.0 that I own, and I was the second owner. And the story is that the motor um, blew up or whatever at 10,000 miles, and Ford, under warranty, I assume, put a replacement engine in it. So when I decided to put this motor in this car, I was under the assumption that it had forged pistons, forged rods, forged crank like they do, the HO motor. Um, so when I took it out yesterday, I noticed there was numbers on the pistons, and if you look, it says Ford on them, and I don't know if you can see the number, but the number is E7ZE 6110, and then it says CA, which I guess is for California. But so that's forged pistons, so that would be correct. So I was happy to see that. But then I go, well, since it was a replacement engine, what does that look like when you look at the block, or the heads? So I came over and looked at the heads, and I saw that it says E7 E7TE E7TE. So I said, well, okay, what does that mean? So I look it up, and basically what it means is that the 7 is for well, hold on. The E, I think, was for the decade, so that was in the 80s. So anything in the 80s. The 7 is for 87. So these heads are out of an 87. The car was an 89. So I always thought they put a 90 motor in it. They actually put a much older engine in it. Part number. And then the T stands for truck. So that really confused me because it's a Mustang. So why is it a truck? So then I came around, and the research I did is the heads are exactly the same as the Mustang on the truck. And then I come around and I look at the number on the block, and the block number is exactly the same as the head. It's got the T for truck. So I got a truck block, truck heads, but I have the forged pistons. So I'm assuming that the rods and the crank are going to be the forged 5.0 Mustang inner. And when I did research online, it seemed like everyone everyone that was on there trying to figure this out was saying that they had a truck motor in their Mustang, that it came up as a truck. So I'm trying to figure out what that means. Is that all replacement engines? Were all replacement engines, did they use truck blocks? Or, I was thinking, is that common that, maybe a lot of Mustangs, I just want people to know that, if they look at their Mustang, they come up on a 5.0 or whatever, and they look and it says truck, don't get disappointed. Because you pull the heads off, if it has those numbers and the Ford sign, and you know that it's got the forged internals. So I just thought I'd share that. So I'm assuming it is. I am going to check the rods and everything and check the numbers. But yeah, let's pull it out. One more thing I wanted to say too was these engines from I think it's 81 or 2. They changed their balance, so it's totally different. So this flywheel here is a special flywheel, and this flywheel is designed for running your C4. That's a 76 Granada tranny to run your C4 with the balance. It's got a big weight. I don't know if you can see it. It must be on the other side, but there's a huge weight. So you have to change the flywheel to run the old transmission with the newer engine. You also got to change the harmonic balancer as well, and you also got to change the distributor gear. So, a lot of people just run an aftermarket distributor. I like the points. I like it simple. I like the look factory. So I put a brass gear. I go to a machine shop and I have them put a brass gear on my old points distributor. So that's one thing I wanted to share too. Always make sure you put your distributor gear, harmonic balancer, and flywheel. Make sure it's the right weight for the engines that are 1982 and newer. If you're running on this old stuff. So
Okay.
there we go. I think that's high enough. Huh? Look at that. I was worried it wouldn't go high enough. Look at how much I got. I figured you only have as much as the Ram. Not too bad. Alright, I'm going to try myself. We'll see.
It's nice doing it on gravel, huh?
Yeah. Where's my shop? I don't have tax money to build a shop, you know? Oh, gotta go a little more. But I will, we'll do an update video once I get this off, or maybe we'll even post it in this one. Taking this off and just double checking that the rods are the right ones and the crank. I'm sure it is, because why would you put the pistons if you're not going to put the rest? It is good to know that, you know, the 5.0 Mustangs that blew up, which they shouldn't have, but if they did put a real forged short block inside, you know, because that's the whole point, right?
Want to show them that weight now?
Yeah, you might be able to see it right here. Yeah, look at how big that is. I don't really remember exactly what it said, but one is internally balanced, the other one's externally balanced. That's the difference. But you know, I was kind of deterred. I wanted to go back I wanted to put a 289 in it and go old school. I was deterred, but this engine I think is going to be okay. But really all it is this plate, flywheel, harmonic balancer. You can get a harmonic balancer, a special one, so you can still run your 3-bolt pulley on the early 60s cars. Because these engines had 4 bolts on their harmonic balancer, so you couldn't run your all your pulleys, and you know, I have a generator still. You couldn't run that, but they sell a special one that has the right weight and has options. I think you could run a 4 or 3 bolt. It has multiple holes. So I got to order that. I got some things to order. I want to make sure I do it right this time. But yeah, I'm going to pull the oil pan off, and we'll have to see what's in there.
Okay.
All right, so I looked into I got the oil pan off, and I looked into the crank and the rods to see if they came up as the 5.0 Mustang. And from what I could tell, the rods, I can't get any information. I can't even find the information for the Mustang ones, and they're not coming up. So I don't have any idea about the rods, if they're the good ones. But the crank did come up as a HO motor, which I assume is the Mustang crankshaft. So it should be, I think, a steel crankshaft. So I did that, and then I checked. I measured the. I was concerned because there was a lot. I thought that was a lot of movement between the crankshaft and the rods, but I measured it, and it was at a 10, so 0.010. So it looks like that's fine. It can go all the way to 20, and I went in. The original problem with the engine, we were worried about the cam was getting stuck. There is dings and stuff in the cam bearing, but for what I understand, that's okay, as long as it's not worn down all the way. It's mostly just this first one. So I checked them all, and all the holes are the same. They're all draining. They're all in the same angle. So it looks like I should be able to just put this thing back together. At least that's what it looks like. So